Hello everyone, this is CJNovo992 and today we're back for another brand new video. And today's video is finally here as the football returns, and genuinely the football couldn't return in a bigger way as we have a home game in the Champions League versus a side that's sitting top of Italian football. And as there hasn't been many videos recently, obviously with the sad passing of the Queen, the games getting postponed, games getting rearranged, it's been a crazy hectic couple days. We've not really had any time to sit here and talk about the football, but now we're actually back. I'm not going to waste anyone's time in the video now. We're just going to dive right in to the old oppositional preview and again have a closer look at tomorrow's dance partner, which is of course Napoli. Now unfortunately for every single person on the Rangers perspective that's tuning in to today's video, we're unfortunately going to have to hear the name Ajax a couple times, because this team and Ajax have a couple things in common. Like we said at the start of today's video, both teams are sitting top in the league and both teams, Napoli and Ajax, are currently undefeated and having won their opening group game in the Champions League. And for me, I mentioned Ajax right away from the start, not only because everything we've talked about, because that's back-to-back preview videos now. I've had to sit and look at a team that genuinely just plays football the right way, because as good as Ajax is at everything, Napoli's as good, if not slightly better in a couple of aspects. And is that not a scary thought to actually think about after what happened to us versus Ajax? Of course. But again, it needs to be said, because there's almost this weird thing going around online and social media these days that Serie A, and it's fun to poke fun at Serie A and call it this and call it that and try and talk it down. But I will need people, I still think it's a phenomenal league with phenomenal teams. And Napoli again sit at the tip of the top. But again, everyone's entitled to their opinion so they can have their say on Italian football. So we'll not break it down too much. In fact, we'll just pay attention to the Champions League, because if you need proof, if you need anything said that backs up how good this team actually is, just look at the first Champions League game versus Liverpool, people, as Napoli went ahead and roasted, scudded, thumped, whatever word you can think about. You slap it into the dictionary, you'll see Napoli doing it to frickin' Liverpool, as the final score was 4-1. And again, that in itself tells you a story, but it doesn't tell you the full story. Nah, because Napoli not only beat them 4-1, they missed a tap-in, they missed a penalty kick, they hit the frickin' post, and last but not least, they had one cleared off the frickin' line. That's right, people, this Napoli side should have thumped Liverpool by at least 8 goals in the game, and that's what we're facing tomorrow, a team that's able to completely dismantle Liverpool in every single aspect, and again should have scored 8 goals against them. Now comes to Ibrox to face us. So in my humble opinion, people, this test that we face tomorrow doesn't get much harder. This is probably about the cream of the top, especially the way they're actually playing right now. So we've addressed how good this side is. For me, they're an incredible outfit from front to back. But let's go ahead now and talk about how they actually go about their business. What's their style of play? How do they line up? Etc. etc. Well, again, very similar to Ajax maybe on paper, that might show up as a 4-3-3, but for me it is different, and there is some key differences between how they play and how Ajax played, because Napoli actually plays more of a 4-2-3-1 in game, in my personal opinion, where Zielinski just goes forward with the ball. He's their key man in terms of getting the ball from the midfield up to the attack. He's absolutely brilliant to watch, but again, he can drop in to make it a free in the middle, get tackling, but when he goes forward, he's as good as anyone that's kicking a ball right now. And if you didn't believe me, he scored 2 goals versus Liverpool on opening day, and he probably should have had a hat-trick as well if he took the other penalty that he gave to someone else that player went on to miss. He will be massive, and his runs and everything like that, if it is a Lundstrom or that, own him, they're going to need to be as every bit of the best on earth as he can be if he's going to track that guy's movement, because this will probably get a wee bit flack and maybe get caught in context and that, but the last time I seen a midfielder that was able to drift in and out from midfield to attack and just cause people havoc was actually like a Lampard, like an early Dele Alli. Do you know what I mean? That guy that gets through the middle of the park just always seems to be in and around the box to score goals, and you're thinking, wait, he was in the halfway line a minute ago. That's the type of player he is, and he will be a major threat to this Rangers side from the first whistle to the last, because again, he can hurt us in so many different areas. And it's actually his movement and everything like that really plays its part in how Napoli set up and played, because where Ajax kept a lot of the ball and were kind of a possession-based team and were able to strangle the game if it needed to, or they play some nice stuff, and again, they just play it about so beautifully. Napoli's a bit more direct than that, a bit more nippy on the ball. Again, they can hold on to the ball, but it's not really something they do quite a lot. It's only 1-2 bang and they try and get to it. This team loves a long direct pass, whether it's out in the wing where they've got two it's just frighteningly in form wingers right now, both so quick, both so talented, and we'll speak about one a bit more in detail in a second, but they can give that and let the wingers run at the fullbacks to put the ball into the mixer, or as they showed versus Liverpool, they are more than happy to hit 1-2 and hit a long ball and drop it on a dime behind the defence, because they had Virgil van Dijk on skates all afternoon. Go and watch that game if you haven't seen it already. Just the way that they play, the directness, and they do that all the time. In Serie A, they didn't always get it because, again, Serie A teams sit quite heavily. It's kind of defensive style lead. It's hard leagues, more tactical based, so they're not as expansive setting their defenders up there. But if you push up a little bit, they are not scared to hit a direct counter-attack every single time, and it's that aspect of the game as well that does leave me quite nervous, because we've not got the quickest centre-halves in. We like to get on the ball, we like to move forward, but that's it. They kind of lure you in, like a Connor Goldson long ball, for instance. If he's going to take it or jog, they'll let him come up the field with the ball. They'll let him, and then they'll try and win it and try and spin him in behind. I'd be looking at that furthermore, because that there is a warning sign. But I guess we've reached the point of the video where we need to talk about the ultimate attacking force right now for Napoli, and for me, who will be the guy that you've heard maybe a lot about going into this game, that's been underlined, that's been asterisked, that's been everything, by the name of Camaradona. Yes, remember we used to have a fun saying like that about Glenn Kamara, and we used to call him Camaradona, and it was all fun and light-hearted and everything like that. Well, this is the actual outfit that had the Maradona, arguably the greatest player to ever grace a football park. That isn't exactly the easiest fan base to get that type of nickname for, but if that right there doesn't tell you how good this player is playing nothing else, I say, well, their own fans that saw Maradona, that's got the stadium named after Maradona, calls this guy a nickname of the laddie. That's the level that he's actually playing in. When you look at it, 4 goals and 2 assists in 7 games so far, you can see why he absolutely roasted Trent Alexander-Arnold. Honestly made him look like a League 2 player. I wasn't going to say a League 2 defender, but he kind of looks like a League 2 defender all the time when you actually get him running. But he just mauled him, and it was vicious. It was going after him constantly. It was physical, it was skill. He was nutmegging him, he was flicking it round him, and he was roasting Joe Gomez as well, who's a big laddie and he's got a wee bit about him. And he was the form that was well and truly on the side of Liverpool. And if Tavernier is good to go in this game, and we'll speak about that in a couple minutes, what a challenge he has with that guy running at him, because he couldn't be playing with more confidence right now. And again, that there for me will be the key battle. If that goes as one way as a lot of people are expecting it to, it could be a long afternoon. But aye, fingers crossed the skipper can step up and try and slow down what is a phenomenal attacking player. So aye, that's all I've really got to say about the Napoli side, who currently are the top goal scorers in the Serie A, again, who sit there joint top of the league. They're a phenomenal outfit. Some of the games that they've played at the highest level has been incredible, and when the lights got the brightest in the Champions League, they put in their best performance of the season. There has been a couple blips on the way, a couple draws in the league, but again, I'm not expecting to see that type of Napoli. I'm expecting to see the one who wants to try and do things in the Champions League, because now, after what they did to Liverpool, people are talking about them, people are looking at them, so they'll be looking to try and replicate that type of performance at Ibrox versus Rangers, after especially seeing how we played versus Ajax. Let's be honest, they'll be licking their lips. But aye, with that being said, that's reached the end of the oppositional preview. Now it's time to get to the Rangers side of today's video, where again, I don't know if I'm going to word this right or that, but I'm just going to tell you what I think. I feel quite flat coming into this game, and I felt flat after what happened at Celtic going into the Ajax game, but I was like, right, Champions League, we'll step up, we'll play. But after seeing how, not even the result, right, we'll take the result, the 4-0 pumping, that can happen in football. It was the performance for me that really got me, ladies and gentlemen. The lack of intensity, the lack of drive, just the lack of everything that we had has got me going into this game pretty nervous, and I'm usually the most optimistic human being on the world. You shout at me for that, but there is some question marks that need to be answered and put to bed in this game, because again, for me, I still find it absolutely disgusting that a team with 25% of the ball can run 6 kilometres less less than the opposition. That's almost devoid of logic, people. How does that happen? You should be running more and chasing every blade of the grass when you have not got the ball. That's the biggest jump out start, that there's something wrong at this football club for me. But again, where there is so much negativity, where there is so many questions, there is opportunities to actually answer it and step up to the plate, and you couldn't ask for anything better than a home game at Ibrox with the crowd with you, and it's been given so many magical moments. It almost has this mystique right now about Ibrox, and the opposition, after manager after manager after manager, has said there is something about playing at Ibrox. It gets in the players' heads. There is nothing more you can ask for than this opportunity here. This quiet summit them doing. Again, I'm not saying we're going to come out here and win 3 or 4-0 or anything like that and absolutely batter them, but just swing and fight. That is all we can ask for as a fan base, and that's all we want to see in this game of football, actually putting up a freaking fight. Because again, I went back and watched the full Ajax game, and trust me, it was even worse the second time in preparation for this bit of a video, because again, there wasn't much football or anything like that going on. So I went back and I watched it and everything like that. And honestly, it's on these players now to answer every single question, because I'm sick of death of seeing all the arguing, the blaming, the finger pointing, the greeting, the moaning and all that stuff that we've seen creep in to our game. All that needs to go. The players that they need to show that they are with each other and they have each other's back, and the players need to show that they've got the manager's freaking back, because again, in the last game, it didn't look like they wanted to play under him. So I guess this is my long-winded way of saying, not only is it a massive test in terms of football and ability against a side like in Napoli, but for me it's also a test of mentality as well, and showing that you want it. Just go out and fight. And again, you can get beat if you do that, but we need to see more than what we've seen in the last 2 games, because it's nowhere near good enough. But aye, that's all I wanted to say in terms of the Rangers conversation side of today's video. Now let's get to some latest team news then, shall we? Because we're kind of on the theme of changes, like we need to change this, we need to be more aggressive, we need to do this, intensity needs to be completely different than what we've seen, etc, etc. Well, there's at least going to be one change. I can't even spit out the frickin' word right there, but there's at least going to be one change in terms of the starting 11 coming in to tomorrow's game, as John McLaughlin hasn't been pictured, videoed or seen in training 24 hours before the game, so that pretty much opens the door for the returning Alan McGregor, which, if I use my heart, it's a great thing to actually see, and I start getting lost in it. But when I think of the noggin and I start using this, people, and I think of the goals we conceded and some of the performances I seen last year, it doesn't fill me with so much enthusiasm or anything like that. And again, I didn't want to be saying this, but I don't think our football club again should have been left in a situation that we are reliant on a 40-year-old goalkeeper who's on the downward slope to bail us out of what has been a disappointing couple games. Now, I'm going to hope and pray with every fibre of my being that Alan McGregor is the Alan McGregor of old in tomorrow's game and everything like that, but I almost feel bad for the laddie that now this spotlight's going to be on him to put us once again on his back and carry us in what is probably going to be one of the most difficult games that we're going to play all year. So aye, it's a wee bit unfair on that laddie, but you know his mentality and everything. He'll go out there and he'll do what he can do, and fingers crossed it's enough. But aye, anyone who's wanting to see Alan McGregor, it's looking likely that he will be in the sticks starting tomorrow, unless there's a wild card of a Robin McCrory, which again, I highly doubt. Speaking of doubt, there is a later update regarding the players and everything like that, so if I've not mentioned it in today's video, scroll down and I'll give you an update on a couple of players. But Tavernier again is listed as a doubt in terms of what we saw the last time a week ago, him sitting there with ice on his knee. We've heard the rumours and rumblings and everything like that he's been carrying a knock and playing through it and everything like that, and I think when you open your eyes and you look at how he's been playing, you can see that he is playing with a knock and everything like that. But again, do I think he'll play tomorrow? Yes, I do, because he's the skipper of this football club and he'll try his absolute best. But if we had a capable replacement and a ready replacement in there, do you think I would be playing him as many games as he's currently injured? No, but again, that's a failure to recruit that we've talked about several times now on this channel. We've put ourselves in a position we need to play one of our best and more influential players hot, because we didn't have anybody else. So aye, not only does he just go out there and grimace against the pain that the big laddie's probably feeling, he's just up against one of the most informed, lethal players in football. So aye, skipper, if you're playing, bail us out one more time. The rest of the team hasn't changed too much regarding who's available or anything like that. Again, I know I keep repeating it in every single video, but hopefully I'm no boring you. Haji Hollander, Suter, long-term injuries. Roof's back amongst it. Ben Davies is back amongst it. He's had a couple new weeks worth of positive training, so he could be back in the sticks here. We might see back in the sticks, back on the actual park, I should say. So we might see a Mr. Ben Davies on the actual park as well, which could be massive to actually have more than one centre back on the park. What a crazy idea that is, especially from set pieces, rather than relying on the one guy that's over 6'2" in your team to win every header that comes in to the area. We might have two centre backs, we might see a back three, but everything else remains the same regarding the players and updates. But again, if there is an update later on, as the video package is expected to come out later on tonight regarding the game, scroll down and I'll let you know. But that's everything I can tell you about right now at my current time of recording. So it is an unbelievable challenge ahead of us. It is an unbelievable side, but it's European nights at Ibrox. There's been magic before. Can we really sit here and say there definitely won't be any magic tomorrow? There will be some people, but I certainly won't be one of them people. I just hope we go and fight and we battle and we get stuck in. There's not too many weaknesses in this Napoli side, so I'm not going to sit and say, oh, you need to do this, because who am I to say that or anything like that. But again, just go out there, scrap, fight and make it a battle. Show them what it's like to play at Ibrox. Didn't be the team that let Ajax waltz absolutely all over them. And that's all I'm going to say in today's video, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be an absolute massive test, massive game. What you think about it, let me know down in the comment section below. Now all that's left today is the prediction on the ons, and it's 99% that we're getting beat, but I am the 1% that says nah, people. Now the last time I predicted a 1-1 draw, we got beat 4-0, so if it happens again, I will never predict 1-1 in my life. But again, everything that's went on, the scudding, the question marks about the team, the manager and everything like that, the backs are well and truly against the wall. I don't know, I'm just going to believe in my team, people, because that's the way I choose to be in life. Look to the positivity, look to the hopeful. So I expect a better performance, and I'm going to go a freaking draw, because it's at Ibrox. Alright, you can shout me and tell me I'm unrealistic if you want, but that's what I'm going with. That's all I'm going to say, ladies and gentlemen. Until tomorrow's game, take care of yourselves, everyone. All the best, and bye.